Under the crescent moon, the gas station stood like a ghost, its flickering neon sign barely illuminating the cracked asphalt. It was the only stop for miles along the desolate highway of North Carolina. A sense of foreboding wrapped around the place, and the sounds of the night's chirps of crickets merging with the rustlingly sad and eerie backdrop chair. As the clock struck midnight, a lone figure emerged from the shadows, the headlights of a rusted old car cutting through the darkness. Inside was Jamie, a nervous job candidate, anxious about a big interview awaiting them, their heart racing like the speed number of their car. So, as Jamie filled the tank, an unsettling encounter with a security guard took place. The guard, a haggard man with deeply set eyes, mumbled warnings of the darkness outside. "You don't know what's out there when it gets dark." His words hung in the air, like an ominous cloud. They felt heavy, almost tangible, with a hint of madness. Just before Jamie stepped back into the car, phone in hand, they received a frantic call from home. Their beloved parrot, a bright yellow canary named Sunny, was missing, fluttering away into the night, leaving Jamie gripped with panic. Their stomach knotted as they thought of family obligations against the backdrop of looming career aspirations. Swallowing their fear, they promised to return as soon as they could. As the tires crunched over gravel, signaling their departure from the gas station, an icy chill crept through Gemma's spine, and through the rearview mirror, they glimpsed a flicker, a ghostly figure standing just yards away from the dim light of the station before disappearing into the shadows. Was it their imagination? Or was there indeed something haunting this lonely stretch of road? Deciding to press on, Jamie continued the drive, fatigue starting to cloud their senses. Snow began to fall as a sudden storm erupted overnight, forcing them to take refuge in an old rundown motel, the only shelter in sight. The rain hammered down, and as they stepped into the bleak lobby, a sense of dread washed over them. Toga sat. The place looked abandoned, its faded wallpaper peeling back in places, and a thick layer of dust covered the furniture. Introducing themselves to the unkempt receptionist, a disgruntled officer named Rick, who seemed to lurk far too closely among the guests. Jamie felt something was off. Watchful eyes peered from the darkness, as if unseen forces were observing their every move. Later, as they settled into their room, unwanted memories flooded back. A cruel encounter with the bully from school, Ben, who had always taunted Jamie. Jamie's pulse quickened. Little did they know, the bully would pull up to the motel with his friends. Later that night, shedding the mask of cruel normalcy, he was just seeking a break from high school life. Quiet weekend escape to get away from expectations. As the night went deeper, strange occurrences began to unsettle the group. They huddled together, sharing ghost stories in low whispers that echoed against the motel's aging walls. They spoke of cursed spirits, of people who had vanished without a trace. They laughed nervously, fueling the atmosphere with echoes of fear as the power flickered sporadically, plunging them into darkness. Then came the knocks, relentless and urgent, seeming to send chills down their spines. Midway through the night, a psychic had come through, drawn to the energy of the place. She spoke with confidence, claiming that the spirit haunting the motel could be appeased. If they performed a ritual, it would grant them temporary peace. Eager to rid themselves of fear, they gathered materials and performed the ceremony, chanting under the flickering lights. A calmness enveloped them for a moment, but their relief was premature. In the quiet aftermath, they let their guard slip. Their bravado crumbled. The believed containment of the spirit allowed their darker fears to resurface. As hours passed, the ghost rekindled its might, looming larger than before, and one by one, the group began to disappear. Silent screams echoing against the dark walls of the motel. Jamie, the last standing, raced through the collapsing reality. In a harrowing moment of clarity, they came across the truth at the heart of this nightmare. Rit was no protector, but a part of this sinister force. They learned of the small-town trap set for unsuspecting visitors where the lost souls had become food for an insatiable darkness. As everything crumbled into chaos, Jamie and the fearful teenager, Mia, huddled together, desperately trying to FaceTime Sonny's soothing tweet through their phones. In their darkest hour, Jamie found solace in memories of Sonny perched on their shoulder, singing a calming melody. This sparked a glimmer of hope. Could confront the shadows, lurking behind their fears, using the bond formed through tremendous love, rushing back to the center of the chaos. They gathered the remaining friends, a sister duo, Jake and Lily, to join them in wielding the power of music against the darkness. The chanting grew louder, the bonds of their fear melting into unity as they sang Sonny's tune together, humming the melodies of comfort, while the malevolent spirit retaliated. With each note, they were reminded of their shared strength against adversity. As dawn painted the sky, the comet dissolved the suffocating grip of night. The spirit screeched, furious at being denied its feast. The motel shook, collapsing under the tension of their music, pushing back the shadows. When the sun finally broke free, the motel morphed into an old, crumbling shell of memory sail, the terror subsiding as a calm finally fell over the place. In profound silence, the remnants of their haunted night wafted into the past. As Jamie, Maria, Jake, and Lily stepped outside, they lingered a moment, looking back across the threshold of the now quiet motel. As they drove past the gas station, its sign finally steady, they felt the weight of their experience heavily lifted. No longer isolated and their fears no longer looming, they emerged changed, bearing witness to the strength that lies within community and the power of undaunted, unbroken. They would bear their scars, however, with a grudging acceptance, appreciating life's fragility. That night, the darkness had tried to drown them, but the light they held was far too bright to extinguish. And as they passed the fading lights, another ride was set before them. For life was a constant highway of uncertainties waiting to unfold. And they were ready. # horror story, # bedtime mystery, # ghost stories, # fearless.